So, just reviewing what we did last week. So, we continued with page 17, and it was a day where Karna was killed. So, just quickly giving you an insight into what happened that day. Bhima and Arjuna, they have a great day. What was it? Dushasana is killed by Bhima. Yes, Samyukta. You have a question?
No, it's just Samita trying to figure out what the button does.
The hand.
Yeah, it's raising your hand like you do in your class. Okay. Yep. So Dushasana, he challenges Bhima, and he's brutally killed by Bhima. His chest is torn, and Bhima pretends to drink his blood. He has blood smeared on his face, on his chest. He's starting to be really scary now. Even Karna at one stage gets scared. Anyway, when Karna's son Vrishasena is killed, he actually now wants to kill Arjuna because of that. Vrishasena is killed by Arjuna. So there is a fierce battle between Karna and Arjuna. And Arjuna is almost killed by one of Karna's arrows, and that's because there is another serpent called Ashwasena that also wants to kill Arjuna. So that's kind of going with the arrow, and it goes faster and moves much quicker. The only reason Arjuna is saved is because Krishna stomps on the chariot and it goes into the ground a little bit. Even the horses have to go on their knees. So once this incident happens, Arjuna is a little more cautious. He realizes that Ashwasena is coming back when Karna refuses to release that weapon again. Karna kills the Ashwasena, and then he dislodges Karna. Karna is actually now on the ground because of his chariot, which is stuck in the ground. He asks Arjuna to hold off firing arrows, but then Krishna reminds him of all his atrocities, and he says, "You have to fight with Arjuna." And Krishna directs Arjuna to fight with him. So why during this fight, then Arjuna actually severs Karna's head. So it was a legal battle. So that's when that happens, the Kauravas flee. Bhima is very happy. He asks Arjuna to go and tell Yudhishthira, give Yudhishthira the good news. Yudhishthira comes in, checks, and he's very happy with Arjuna, what he's done. I think we ended the day there that day. Here, what happens is Dhritarashtra is also quite shaken. He faints. Gandhari faints. Dhritarashtra is quite scared for Duryodhana, and he asks all the yes.
I had a question. I was wondering what role Karna had in the Kaurava army. Wasn't he the commander or something? Or...
Karna.
Mm.
Yeah, on the 16th day, Karna becomes the commander in chief after Drona's death. Drona dies on the 15th day, and Karna is then made commander in chief on 16th. Did you miss that class?
No, I just think I forgot.
Okay. I know you missed a couple of classes. Anyway, that's fine. All right. So moving on. Yeah. Now Duryodhana is also quite upset that his best friend Karna is killed. he's now he gathers all the troops and says, "Look, we have nothing to lose. Let's fight." So you get all the troops are good, but it is the end of the day. The war has stopped. Back at the Kaurava camp, Kripacharya now comes to Duryodhana and he tells him, "Look, it's come to a stage where we've lost majority of our great warriors. We are bound to lose this battle. My suggestion is go and make peace with the Pandavas." Okay, and he says a few other things, and he says, "I'm happy to negotiate the deal with them. Uh, Krishna will listen to me. Yudhishthira will listen to me. So let's go and make a peace deal." Then Duryodhana starts talking. He says, "Look, I know what you're saying. Okay, ideally, that's a good advice, a sound advice. Somebody who has to advise the king, you're giving me that advice. But look at it from my point of view. Yudhishthira has been betrayed by me a number of times. He will not trust me. Okay, Bhima, he will not bow down. He will not give in to the uh, peace agreement. If you remember today, he actually promised to kill me after killing Dushasana. He reminded everyone of the vow, okay, that he would break my thighs and he would kill me. So he's definitely not going to bend. As for Draupadi, okay, I have insulted her, right? She is now conducting some sort of rituals, very austere rituals, sleeping on the floor and doing few things for the destruction of the Kauravas and for the victory of Pandavas. And I'm going to take you to Krishna. You said Krishna will listen to you. Trust me, Krishna will not listen to you. After what I've done to Draupadi, after what I've done to the Pandavas, Krishna will not forgive me. Okay? He mentions Draupadi's insult 2 or 3 times in this conversation because he knows Krishna will not forgive him for that. So the conversation ends there with them deciding that they will fight the next day. So now who should become the commander again? Ashwatthama comes in, steps in and said, "Shalya is very powerful. You should really make him the commander that day." Okay. And they uh, resign for the night. They all go to bed. The next morning, Sanjaya starts narrating the start of the day, and Dhritarashtra asks about the forces. He explains, now this is what's there. There are still 11,000 chariots, 10,700 elephants, 200,000 horsemen, and 3 million foot soldiers on the side of the Kauravas. On the side of the Pandavas, there were 6,000 chariots, okay, compared to 11,000 of Kauravas. 6,000 elephants compared to 10,700 elephants of the Kauravas. 10,000 horses compared to 200,000 horses, okay. 1 million foot soldiers for the Pandavas as opposed to 3 million foot soldiers for the Kauravas. So you see, they're about 2 times or more in strength, in numbers than the Pandavas. But that day, Arjuna and Bhima, they are unstoppable. They start destroying the Kaurava army. Yudhishthira takes on Shalva, the commander-in-chief. Kritavarma and Bhoj, they fight with Bhima at one stage. Okay, here Kritavarma, he quickly runs away. He's defeated by Bhima and he runs away from the battlefield. Bhoja, he kills Bhima's horses, but then Bhima gets off the chariot with his mace and he kills the horses, the charioteer, and he kills Bhoja, King Bhoja. Okay, Shalya, who's a powerful king, he starts killing the Pandava army from the Kaurava side, and Bhima steps in. Okay, he destroys Shalya's horses, and Shalya has to run away from the field. He's actually helped by Ashwatthama. Then he fights. Actually, he fights with before he is rescued by Ashwatthama. He actually gets off his horse and he fights with Bhima. They have a mace fight. Both of them have a serious battle, quite a fierce battle, and Shalya falls down, and that's when Ashwatthama comes in, saves him, and they leave. Okay. Yudhishthira, Shalya then recovers. He takes another chariot and he comes. Here Yudhishthira challenges him. They're fighting. Okay. When they're fighting, Shalya again loses to Yudhishthira and he's running away. Yudhishthira follows him. Okay. When this happens, the Kaurava army also starts running away. Duryodhana then rounds them up again and he brings them forward. Drishtadyumna kills Duryodhana's horses, and Duryodhana has to run away. So again, the army start fleeing back. When this happens, Duryodhana's 12 brothers and a lot of the army, they start circling Bhima. The way Bhima fights over there, he kills all the brothers very quickly. He also destroys, there's a number here, there's numbers here. He destroys 500 chariots, 700 elephants, 800 horsemen, and 10,000 foot soldiers. So that's how fiercely Bhima fights that morning. He kills 12 of Duryodhana's brothers, and now it's only Duryodhana who's left. Of all the 100 brothers, he's the only one left, apart from Yuyutsu, who's fighting on the Pandava army, Pandava side. Okay. Now, at the end of it, Arjuna has destroyed the rest of the Samshaptakas, and there is a great king called Susharma. He's been undefeated in battle till now. Okay. Arjuna kills him too in that battle. Okay. Duryodhana then rallies his troops again and he says, "We have nothing to lose. Let's go and fight. Today we either win or we die. That's how it is." So everyone agrees and they go. They want to just be either victorious or die. So they go. On the other side, Kritavarma is defeated by Bhima. He runs away from the battlefield. Arjuna defeats Kripacharya and Ashwatthama in battles, and they flee from the battlefield. They are now, all the three of them are injured, and they are kind of trying to recover from their injuries. They are not even on the battlefield now. Okay, the rest of the warriors are killed. Duryodhana is the only one who's left on the battlefield, and he abandons the dead horse and he walks away. He walks away from the battlefield. Here, the remainder of the army is completely destroyed and they're celebrating. The Pandavas now know that everyone's killed except for Duryodhana, Kripacharya, Kritavarma, and Ashwatthama. 4 warriors, that's it. And they're now starting to look for these warriors, all of them. What happens is Duryodhana, he goes to a lake. Okay, he's got some mystical powers, Duryodhana. So what he does is he goes into the lake and he freezes the entire lake. And he's recovering there. He's injured. Okay, he's bleeding here and there. He's injured, so he just wants to recover. Now, before he goes, something different happens. If you remember Sanjaya, who has the ability to go into the battlefield, view the war and all that particular day, he's actually on the battlefield. And he sees Duryodhana leaving. So he goes and talks to Duryodhana. Duryodhana tells him, "Look, I cannot come back to the kingdom. How about you go and give my dad the news that I am going to take some rest. I need some badly needed rest. I'm tired, fatigued by the war. I'm going to take some rest and I'm going to fight again. And quite likely I will be killed. Please go and give this message to my father." So when Sanjaya is coming back, he's actually captured by Satyaki and he takes him to Drishtadyumna. Drishtadyumna tells, "Kill him." Immediately, Vedvyasa comes there and says, "You need to leave Sanjaya. He's not to be killed in this battle." So he's one person you cannot kill. So he, immediately Satyaki and Drishtadyumna, they'll release Sandeep, Sanjeev, Sanjay, and he starts walking towards Hastinapur. He comes across Kritavarma, Kripacharya, and Ashwatthama, and they ask him where Duryodhana is. So he points them to the direction and he tells, "This is where Duryodhana is. You'll find him there." And they make their way to the lake. Here, Yuyutsu comes. Yuyutsu, he's the only Kaurava who's alive. He comes to Yudhishthira and he surrenders himself. He says, "I'm also a Kaurava. I know I fought in your side, but now I'm happy for you to do what you want. If you let me go, I will help the Kaurava ladies and all, take them back to the city because they're camped not too far from the battlefield." So he says, "I'll make arrangements for the Kaurava women and all to be taken back. The elders are there. There's a few things that need to be done. If you'll let me, I'll do." So Yudhishthira very nicely, he hugs him, embraces him, and he blesses him and he sends him away. He says, "You go and do whatever you have to do. We'll see you soon." Here, Bhima is now quite agitated. He wants to find Duryodhana. He's still got it in him. He has to take that revenge. And he proposes to uh, uh, give gifts to whoever finds Duryodhana. It so happens that Kripacharya, Ashwatthama, and Kritavarma, they come to the lake and they start talking to Duryodhana, who's inside the lake. They start telling him, "Look, come out, we need to fight the battle, we still haven't finished." To this, Duryodhana then says, "Look, it's come to a stage where I need some rest. I understand what you're saying, we have to fight, but let us rest for tonight. Let us resume battle the next day. For now, I know you guys are also tired, fatigued from the war. Go and take rest." And what he says is true, because Kritavarma, Ashwatthama, and Kripacharya, they're all very tired. They're injured by Arjuna's arrows. They also need to recover. So what they do is they leave Duryodhana to himself, and they leave. They don't want to be killed by the Pandavas. They don't want to be found and killed by the Pandavas. Okay. Here, what happens is there's some hunters that are passing by who support the Pandavas. They observe this conversation going on between Kritavarma, Kripacharya, Ashwatthama, and Duryodhana. They immediately go and tell Bhima, "This is what's happened." And then the Pandavas come. They've been looking for them all afternoon. They finally find them, so they come. And here Krishna tells Yudhishthira, "Look, he's used mystical powers to freeze the lake and he's hiding there. Okay, he's going to be deceitful. So my suggestion is, if you have to fight with Duryodhana, you have to be clever about it. Okay, you have to use mystical powers, or you have to use manipulation to do it." And then he explains a few things like, okay, Hiranyakashipu, he could not be killed, okay, by any man, god, demon, or anything like that. He could not be killed indoors, outdoors. So then God itself had to make a plan. He came as a half human, half lion, came through the wall and killed him during dusk on the threshold of the house. So he explains a few things like this, and he says, "You also need to be very clever over here." And accordingly, Yudhishthira starts talking to Duryodhana, and he taunts him. He says, "You're like a coward hiding over there. You've been the cause of the destruction of all the Kshatriyas, and you're hiding under the water, under the frozen lake. Why don't you come out and fight with us?" Then Duryodhana replies, "Look, I'm really tired. I'm fatigued. How about you let me rest for now, and I'll come back and fight with you guys tomorrow." Yudhishthira said, "We are all rested. We have been looking for you now for hours. Why don't you come out and fight like a king, like a Kshatriya?" Okay. Then Duryodhana says, look, why don't you keep the kingdom? Okay, I don't want the kingdom. The entire kingdom, the soldiers, everyone is yours now. The whole world is yours. I don't want anything. Okay, I'm ready to give up everything. I'm going to, I've lost everyone. Dronacharya, Bhishma, Karna, my brothers, everyone's killed. What am I going to do with the kingdom? You can keep it. Yudhishthira says, Yudhishthira is quite clever here. He does not trust Duryodhana. So he tells him, I don't trust you. I need you to come out and fight with us, like a Kshatriya. Okay, I don't want a gift. I will win this no matter what. All right, if I have to win, I'll win it. So you come out. And then there's a little more dialogue that goes on between Yudhishthira and Duryodhana, and finally Yudhishthira says, you come out, this is the deal I have for you. Right? You come out and fight. You can pick any one of us to fight with. And you choose the weapon to fight with us too. If you win, the kingdom is yours. Everything is yours. We give up and we'll go. Krishna is immediately angry with Yudhishthira. He says, what are you doing? But by then, Duryodhana has already taken the offer and he comes out. He does not have an armor. He does not have anything. And yet Krishna is upset with Yudhishthira. He says, imagine this. He is somebody who's been underestimated. With the mace, he is even better than Duryodhana. Okay, and he explains a few things. Anyway, fortunately for Yudhishthira, Duryodhana hates Bhima's guts. He wants to fight with Bhima to prove he's the best warrior, and he wants to kill Bhima for killing all his brothers. Okay, so fortunately for Yudhishthira, he selects Bhima and he selects the mace. Now here, remember, Duryodhana doesn't even have an armor, so Yudhishthira actually provides him with the armor, and they want to now battle it out. I think if I start the battle, it'll go on a little longer. I'll do this next week. So I'll stop here. Anyone has any questions? Yeah? Okay. So the battle's almost over. And we will conclude the final bits and pieces of the battle next week.